Hey folks, Bob Rogers here with Hawaiian Trike. We're going for a little ride today. Hope you want to join us. It's a gorgeous day, a Sunday, and me and our friends here just want to get out and have a good time. I have a little story to tell you, and it's all about I'd rather ride on my Recumbent Trike than ride my bicycle. So that's what the story is about today. I'm going to be doing it in disguise. And that means I put my sunblock thing on there. And here goes the story. Today I'm going to be talking about some comments my new mainland friend Buddy made about recumbent trikes. He said, "You're the perfect person to ask, Bob. I have asked many people online and while riding, why a recumbent over a bike? There's probably a recumbent in my future, and I'm trying not to dread the thought of making the switch. My guess, as he gets older, he figures that he might have to move to a recumbent trike." Well, he continues, "I will never understand people who ride recumbents if they absolutely don't need to. A horrible ride and so many limitations, like having to ride on road primarily." And I said back to him, "Buddy, I don't need to ride a recumbent. I just enjoy it much more than my fairly new carbon fiber cross-trainer diamond frame that now sits in my shed. I ride a trike much more often than I ever did the diamond frame. By the way, I also go off-road riding once or twice a week. True, no single-track rides, but I have enough trails that work well with the 3 wheels and the great suspension that I have. It all depends on our objective for riding." Oh, that's right, I did ride a single track once. I won't do that again. So he says, "Well, you're on an island, Bob, and I'm sure that mandates where you ride locally, but you have to admit that there are many places bikes easily access that you can't. I watch people on recumbent struggle to get their rides through pedestrian gates and infrastructures that I ride through." I responded, "Of the hundreds of places I've ridden my diamond frame bikes for more than over 50 years, I can ride about 80% of them on a trike." I suggested he check out my over 85 YouTube episodes, especially on my tour around the island of Oahu, which gave me a whole bunch of new routes. I have done extensive riding on a diamond frame across the US and parts of Canada during my 10 years when we traveled in an RV during our 60s. True, I rode a lot of trails where a trike could not go and the advantages of a two-wheeler were obvious. But I've moved on, been there, done that. Like I said, it's about your current cycling objectives. After checking out his website, I see that he's into wilderness trekking and touring, and that would explain his preference. He's blazing through grass fields and bush. He has very specific objectives that he's done for a long time. He says, "There's just something special about being 30 or 40 miles from the nearest road that bikes have given me." I agree. It appears he's having a hard time thinking about a change in his riding objectives as he ages. Well, he had more to say. "A recumbent trike feels more like driving than riding." I don't know if he's ever tried it, but that's what he says. Anyway, "It's heavier with more rolling resistance, and that fat tire fad means we're all going to require a motor now." I said, "It's true, it's heavier equipment, and we have wind and resistance issues, but it's only going to affect your speed, which is not an objective when I ride." He said, "Trikes are more challenging to transport." I agreed. And then he said, "They must have more maintenance, storage, and transportation issues, at least more than bicycles." I said, "Well, as far as maintenance goes, we have longer chains and 1 extra wheel. That's about it. I built my ramps for my truck and I can easily fit my 2 trikes in the bed. No problem. Storage, you got me there. 2 wheels are easier." Hey, let me interrupt here for a second. I wanted to show you guys some tsunami warning signs that are all along the coast on the Hawaiian Islands. And we have these emergency sirens located everywhere. Okay, back to our buddy story. Then he said, "For long distance riders or bike campers, trikes can't carry as much gear. Well, I replied, I don't believe that's true. I think we can carry more gear and actually ride safer not having to balance all that weight. He said, well, one thing I can think is that you have an advantage is when we're dealing with strong winds, especially on long open stretches. I have to concentrate on side winds when my bike is loaded and I'm pulling my trailer. I've seen recumbents with solar panels mounted to collect while riding. That's a possible advantage. My comments were, trailers work or don't work on both cycles. And then he made the comment, do recumbents have an advantage for able-bodied people? Well, this irked me. Was he saying that recumbent trikes are mainly for non-able-bodied riders? I thought that was a bad assumption. I responded, I'm sorry, but you're wrong in that assumption, buddy, that trikes are primarily for non-able-bodied riders. Yes, physically challenged riders now have an option to continue riding despite these physical challenges, but non-challenged riders ride trikes as well. I'm not physically challenged, and as I mentioned before, I'd rather ride my recumbent trike than my two-wheel cross trainer. So I gave Buddy some good reasons why I ride a trike. More importantly, I love riding while sitting on a recliner. I actually have armrests. I can ride with eyes on the scenery instead of having to constantly watch for potholes and the edge of the road. We also don't want to tip over if we hit a rock or debris on the highway. I'm also not bent over with my eyes on the pavement, having to strain my neck to observe what's ahead of me. It's more comfortable. Gone are the days of rump soreness, numb fingers, and arms. His reply was that he never experienced those problems with pain or fatigue while riding his bike. Primarily because of the bikes he's ridden, they had proper frame geometry and sizing, along with great seat and versatile handlebars. He says he's not hunched over his handlebars. Well, I agreed in principle about having proper equipment really helps. And then I said he must be from another galaxy, and I congratulated him on his physical prowess, as most riders I know have faced some kind of repetitive strained physical issues sometime during their cycling career. Okay, we're going to take a little break from our storytelling, and let's go check out Ehukai Beach Park, home of Bonsai Pipeline, famous surf spot on the North Shore. It's a gorgeous day.
Ain't no Frankie and Frankie's driving. No more flipping burgers for the population. Things have got to change, it's called evolution. And there ain't no Frankie and Frankie's driving.
Alright, let's get back to our story. One big benefit is I can safely operate a camera and a drone while riding a trike. I again suggested he review my 85 YouTube episodes. I continued on with my rant. I don't consider riding a trike a muscle-centric ride. I don't stand on my pedals and use my weight to generate energy to negotiate hills and wind. I'm very happy that I get more cardio exercise on the trike because I ride more often. There's more, but let's address the difference between a bike and a recumbent. It's true, there are single track trails that I no longer ride. But I got over that really quickly as I ride more often and enjoy my riding. I have many off-road trails that gets me out on the boondocks. If I want to ride a single track, I can hop on my diamond frame. But that's very, very rare. Then he came back with this nugget. He said, I find it hard to believe that you can load over 120 pounds of gear on a recumbent just because of the lack of physical space for panniers. I'm really not sure what he meant by that, but of course we have panniers, side bags, and top bags. I did notice that he carries quite a bit of his stuff on his handlebars on his touring bike. Thus I believe it must contribute to his erroneous assumptions. Another advantage to my bike, he says, is that he can have up to 200 pounds of gear and toys while pulling a trailer and can stop, set up camp, unload the bike, and do day-long rides on a single track with his reasonably light bike. My record, he says, is 8 days riding without seeing a human. Okay. My response, we can pull trailers as well and upload and take day trips. Okay, maybe not on single tracks, but maybe our goal is to see humans more often than 8 days. I get it, he's a tour biker and there are advantages being on two wheels.
There's no Joey in Coconut Joe. He's a young boy I met a long time ago. Playing a soup under a coconut tree, singing Manuela Boy in the key of C.
He then layered this one on me. I hear you're saying that you are more comfortable lying down and that it requires less physicality. The physicality allows me to ride much further, not relying on the motor and battery nearly as much. Well, I corrected him by saying, buddy, we don't lie down. We ride and pedal in a reclined position. Matter of fact, I ride more in a sitting position versus crunched over the handlebars, like most diamond frame bikers I see. A lot of us are physically fit, it's just our objectives are greatly different. Comfort is our reward, better access to scenery is important, and off-road trails are available and greatly accessed. I can generate physicality as much as I want, and thusly I am now in better condition mentally and physically on my trike. The more I ride, the better shape I'm in. While you certainly don't need my suggestions, buddy, I would suggest you stay on your two wheels, carry your 200 pounds, your trailer, ride 45 miles per hour, access single tracks with ease. 100 miles daily, weeks away from civilization. I understand when you say at this point in my life it's far more versatile than a trike. We both agree, to each their own. Well, like my podcast I produced as I rode around America 15 years ago on my diamond frame, today my YouTube channel is to document and share my observation while riding around the island on my trike, not to convert cyclists from two wheels to three. There's enough road for all of us. See you on the trails, buddy. Aloha oi, ahui ho.
Joey in Coconut Joe. He's a young boy I met a long time ago. Playing a soup under a coconut tree, singing Manuela Boy in the key of C.
Well, that's the end of my ride today and the end of my story. It's one man's opinion, I guess. And I couldn't help it. Such a gorgeous day. I had to come out. Hope you guys enjoy the scenery. Catch you on the next ride. Aloha.
No more coconuts in Coconut Grove. 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 Ain't no coconuts in Coconut Grove. No more sugar on the sugarcane road. No more